Good morning, children. Welcome back to the online classes. I hope you all have enjoyed your summer vacation and you must have taken care of yourself and of your family members. And I also hope that you all have done the work which was given to you all before summer vacation. Now, let's start today's online session. So, today we will start with second chapter of economics, that is people as resource. But before starting the chapter, let's quickly recall what we have read in previous chapter. So in previous chapter we talked about different factors of production which are land, labor, capital and human resources. And in this chapter you will read more about human resources and how resources can be beneficial for a country. And children, human resources is considered to be the most significant resource of a country because it directly contributes to the country's economy with its productivity, and human resource make the other resources useful. So let's begin the chapter. So in this chapter we will read about people as resource. As it is clear with the name, people means population of a country, and resource in previous chapter and in geography also you have read about resources. So a resource is something that can be used for a purpose like tools, materials. These are resources. In the same way, the working people or the working population of a country with their existing productive skills and abilities are resource for a country. I hope you must have remembered the meaning of working population. That is the term which came in first chapter, and we have learned the meaning of working population, which means population that employed in a specified occupation, or to the total population of a country who are employed and looking for employment. And the age of working population of a country is between 15 to 65 year. So all the people between 15 to 65 come under working population. When we talk about population, we often overlook the positive side of the population and we look only at the negative side, considering only the problems of providing the population with food, education, and access to health facilities and other services. But on the contrary, when human resource is developed by becoming more educated and healthy, we call it human capital formation, and it is add to the productive power of the country just like the physical capital formation. As we invest in other resources in form of technology to make that resource more useful and more productive. For example, land is a resource for a farmer, and to gain maximum profit from that land he invests in fertilizers, threshers, harvesters and in other modern equipment which increase the productivity of the land as well as income of that farmer. In the same way, we invest in human resource to make the human resource more useful or productive for a country. And how can we invest in human capital or in human resource? Through education, training and medical care, which increases the productivity of a person. This can be seen directly in the form of higher incomes earned because of higher productivity of the more educated or the better trained person. This we can understand through an example. Suppose there is a doctor who has received a well education. He is trained in his field and throughout his life he got proper medical care. And on the other hand, there is a person who work on daily wages. That person did not get any education, he do not have any training and he was deprived of the medical care, so the productivity will be higher of a doctor. He will have a regular income and his income will always be higher than the person who works on daily wages. So education, training and medical care increases the productivity of a person as well as his income. Now, to understand the whole concept clearly, we will read the stories which are given in your book, Story of Vilas and Story of Sakal. And through these two stories, we will come to know about the importance of education, medical care and vocational training in human life. So let's begin the stories. First, we will start with Story of Sakal. There were two friends, Vilas and Sakal, living in the same village, Simapur. Sakal was a 12-year-old boy. His mother Sheila looked after domestic chores. His father, Bhutta Chaudhary, worked in agricultural field. Sakal helped his mother in domestic chores. He also looked after his younger brother Jitu and sister Situ. His uncle Shyam had passed the matriculation examination. Here, the meaning of matriculation means high school or 10th, but was sitting idle in the house as he had no job. Bhutta and Sheila were eager to teach Sakal. They forced him to join the village school, which he soon joined. He started studying and completed his higher secondary examination. His father persuaded him to continue his studies. He raised a loan for Sakal to study a vocational courses in computers. Sakal was meritorious and interested in studies from the beginning. With great vigor and enthusiasm, he completed his course. After some time, he got a job in a private firm. He even designed a new kind of software. This software helped him increase the sale of the firm. His boss acknowledged his services and rewarded him with a promotion. So, through this story, we can understand that Sakal came from a poor family, but after getting education and training in computers, he got a job, and this increases his income as well as it helped him to lead a successful or comfortable life. On the other hand, there's a story given of Vilas. Vilas was an 11-year-old boy residing in the same village as Sakal. Vilas's father, Mahesh, was a fisherman. His father passed away when he was only 2 years old. His mother, Geeta, sold fish to earn money to feed the family. She bought fish from the landowner's pond and sold it in the nearby mandi. She could earn only rupees 150 a day. By selling fish, Vilas became a patient of arthritis. His mother could not afford to take him to the doctor. He could not go to the school either. He was not interested in studies. He helped his mother in cooking and also looked after his younger brother Mohan. After some time, his mother fell sick and there was no one to look after her. There was no one in the family to support them. Vilas too was forced to sell fish in the same village. He, like his mother, earned only a meager income. So here, Vilas also came from a poor family, or the background of Sakal and Vilas were almost same. They belonged to a poor family, but in case of Sakal, his parents sent him to school to get the higher education, and they have given him the vocational training which helped him to get a good job. On the other hand, in the case of Vilas, his family was poor. They did not send him to a school. They have not given him any vocational training, and they have not given him a proper medical care. Because of this, he did not get any proper job, which he was forced to sell fish in the market as his mother was selling, and he was not able to lead a comfortable life. His income was low, So this is the condition which was created because of lack of education and lack of training and proper medical care. I hope you have understood the role of education, training and medical care um, for making a person more useful for a country, or making a person a resource for a country, which help to increase the income of that person as well as to income of the country. Therefore, investment in human resource can give higher rates of return in future. This investment on people is the same as investment in land and capital and in other resources. And if the income of a person will increase, it will beneficial for the society as well as for the country. Now, how it will be beneficial for the society or for the country? A person, if he will earn more, he will give more tax, and the tax will be used for the development of the society and for the development of the country and for the people of that country. In this way, investment in human resource give high rates of return in future in terms of that in terms of development of that person as well as development of society and of country. And children, the best example of human resource in our country is IT industry, which also known as information technology industry, and it has gained importance in past 30 years. This is the industry which only employed skilled and trained educated people, and it do not invest in other resources, means it completely depend on human resources, and it has a large share in GDP of our country or in a tertiary sector. And apart from this, countries like Japan have also invested in human resource. Japan is a country which import all the natural resources whatever needed for the country from other part of the world. But then also Japan is a developed nation or a rich nation, and the reason behind this is they have invested in people, especially in the field of education and health, and these people have made efficient use of other resources like land, capital, whatever found in Japan, and with their efficiency and technology, these people have made Japan a rich or a developed nation. So all the countries, especially the developing nation, need to invest in training, education and health of the population, which in future increase the income of the nation. I hope you have understood the topic. So children, now we have reached to the end of today's class, and for the next class, please read the chapter and all the stories, because these are the example related to the topic. So read all the examples and stories whatever given in your book, and with this video you will get some question answer like always, and these question answer you have to continue in the copy in which you have done the work before summer vacation. And children, take care of yourself, spend a quality time with your family members, stay home, stay safe. Thank you, class.